The starting point for Ford Motor Company's approach to continuous improvement to safety for all products is Ford's safety design guidelines. These guidelines are continuously updated, and they go well beyond government regulations. The safety guidelines are intended to provide continuous improvement to enhance the already extensive Ford efforts to provide vehicles that exhibit a high level of safety. Prominent among these safety guidelines is Ford's guideline on resistance to rollover. The objective of this guideline is to design and develop a vehicle that will remain stable under all operating conditions, including accident avoidance maneuvers. The guideline states that the vehicle should respond in a predictable manner and give the driver perceptible signals that the vehicle is at its limit. Our extensive handling testimony is supplemented by specific testing focusing on vehicle behavior and violent maneuvers. One of the most extreme tests is the so-called J-turn test, a test that was performed on the 1991 Explorer. The Explorer met or exceeded all J-turn criteria, not only at the recommended tire pressure of 26 psi, but also at the maximum tire pressure for the ATX tire of 35 psi. This conclusion was validated by both track testing and computer simulation. And it continues to be validated by real-world performance.
Let me now turn to the tests done, as opposed to the tests that were required by both Firestone and Ford. Let me start with Ford. And I want to see if I summarize this correctly. According to your testimony, this is what we have. First of all, we have an affidavit that says that in '89 you ran one test at high speed, and I quote, on the UN 46 Explorer. And I quote again, that the high-speed durability tests run on the UN 46 Explorer were conducted at maximum rear gross axle weight, etc. The affidavit we have leads this committee to believe, as did the testimony 2 weeks ago, that Ford actually at least ran one test on a Ford Explorer at 26 pounds per square inch in speed tests at these proving grounds. We now learn that those tests were run on a so-called slave or mule vehicle, a truck, not a Ford Explorer. Was this affidavit intentionally misleading?
Absolutely not.
What happened?
Mr. Chairman, the tests that we run for high-speed durability are done using something we call a slave vehicle or a mule vehicle.
Why did you call it a Ford Explorer in the affidavit?
You know, I haven't talked to Mr. Avoris, but I'm sure that, you know, he's a tire tester. And I'm sure in his mind, when he took that mule and put it in an Explorer-type configuration for weight, to him that was an Explorer. Mr. Chairman, there's nothing devious here.
I hope not, Mr. Petrauskas, but obviously it looks suspicious. Secondly, this slave or mule vehicle is not a Ford Explorer, is it not?
No, sir. What it is...
Does it have the same axle design, the same axle spread?
What it has...
Does it have any of those characteristics, center of gravity characteristics of a Ford Explorer?
Yeah. What it has is a weight distribution.
Weight distribution, similar, that's all.
Well, actually, what it's deliberately made. May I take a couple seconds just to put this into context? Fundamentally, what we do is for truck testing, we have 3 different mules. One mule is used to test all of the 14-inch tires, and that mule for years has been a Ford Ranger. Second, which is a small pickup. Second, we have an F-150, which is a standard-size pickup, and that mule is used
If I can interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
The test was done with a Ford pickup truck, an F-150. Is that accurate?
But it was a pickup truck that...
Go ahead.
I just want to be clear. It was a pickup truck that was modified to reflect the weight distribution that an Explorer would have. And so the tires that are on that truck, for all they know, they're on a Ford Explorer, and they're run for the 200 miles at the high speed. Now,
Is the axle wider or longer than the Ford Explorer?
I can ask.
On an F-150?
We can give you the details.
I think the
on
answer
that.
is yes. That's what we were told last night, that the axle width and the length of the, I think, the drive system are very different from a Ford Explorer. So I think the information we got last night is accurate.